The path starts right now with the unveiling of the 12 teams in the college football playoff. The journey goes to Miami Gardens, Florida, Hard Rock Stadium, January 19th. That is where the national championship game will be played. First team out, I assume, is...
Should be Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. I mean, I don't think that's a huge surprise. The Irish, it has to be gut-wrenching for them after being in the field pretty firmly until last week, then sitting on the bubble and then getting bumped.
You know, this game is going to be won by the boys that put their hands in the dirt. For 4 quarters, who can knock each other. It's going to be a rock fight, so they need that fight club mentality. If they can come out here and they can slow down Alabama's pseudo running game, which is really a quick passing game, and their wide receivers with their yards after catch is the most dangerous thing. They can contain that, make Alabama kind of one-dimensional in that kind of setting, get the pressure, and if they can come up with pressure with maybe one less defender, that gives Brent Venables that opportunity to dial up those complex blitzes and coverage packages. So that's where I think the key of this game is, not to mention third down conversion. The team that can get off the field and third down more often is going to have an advantage, that long field. Who's that going to be?
Who's that going to be?
Oh, you want to call it now?
Oh, yeah, call it now.
I just know right now. Sooner Nation! Are you ready? I need some shoes! Here we go! More! Oklahoma's the last team standing! I'll tell you what, I agree with Boss. Give me Oklahoma to get a big time win tonight, Boss. We love you, brother!
The playoff taste for the championship starts here in Norman, Oklahoma tonight in a battle of blue blood programs as the Sooners welcome the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now Talty as he boots it away here in the first quarter. And they're going to have a chance from the 2. That fair catch was called for Alabama. That's a first down run from Mateer. Picks his way. Mateer, shifty, touchdown OU. First and goal. Mateer takes a look. Touchdown! Isaiah Satania. Oklahoma rolling over the Tide right now. Play clock down at 2-1. Simpson looking, finding. Brooks still fighting, diving for the end zone. Alabama, 4th down touchdown to get on the board.
Who they going to bring? Who they going to drop?
Only rush 3. Intercepted. They confused him. Xavier Brown headed the other way. Touchdown Tide. A pick 6 from the man who had one against Tennessee just before the half. Simpson this time has a clean pocket. Lofty toward the end zone. Brooks. Touchdown Alabama. Crimson Tide have the lead. A 30-yard strike to give. 50 Cent is in the building. No prior connection to Oklahoma except they begin using Many Men Wish Death Upon Me as their third quarter song. And here he is in the flesh.
I don't know who got more of a kick out of this, the Oklahoma side or the Alabama side. The Alabama players are out there dancing the whole time.
Mateer dancing around, delivers over the middle. It's caught. Off and running is Brooks. Touchdown Oklahoma, punches back. Seven-yard strike. It's Hill banging forward, fighting, twisting, touchdown Alabama. Alabama comes back and conquers the Sooners. On to Pasadena.
And Kaylin, this team has had their backs against the wall so many times this year, but you're down 17-0 in that first quarter. You're able to come back. What allowed you to become the first team to win a college football playoff game on the road?
Yeah, just our guys have, like you said, have been in it all year long, and let's go, baby. I'm proud of the fight. I know I'm going to get that every single time we step on the football field. We had to create our own breaks a little bit. We knew it was going to be a fist fight. We knew it was going to be a physical game. It would be hard moving the ball, but you just got to keep playing.
Both players had incredible nights. And Ty, let me start with you. You guys are down by 17 points, and coach decides to go for it on 4th down. What did you think on that play, and what did you see?
First off, I want to say thank you to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Just getting us here has been awesome. I mean, we couldn't do without it. But it's been like that all year, right? Like a ton of situational stuff like that. We have a ton of confidence in our offense, ton of confidence in this guy, and we were just going to go make a play.
How does it sound on the Rose Bowl?
They try to ride us off, though. We get it right back. They can. We get it right back, baby. God bless, for sure.
From Oxford will be Tulane and Ole Miss. Ole Miss won the regular season match. Who have you got?
I think that Ole Miss will win this game. They're out to prove something without Lane Kiffin being on the sideline. I think it'll be closer than the first matchup, but I'm going with Ole Miss over Tulane.
Yeah, I think Tulane's going to play them much better this time around, but I think Ole Miss has too much firepower for them.
I like that there's 9% on Tulane in the fan. I didn't think that would be the case. I thought this would be a 95, 96%er. Shout out to the Tulane people coming through thinking they can get their get back here. I like Coach Golding at Ole Miss to get started in a big way. Congrats to them on winning the college football playoff game.
I'm going against the grain.
That a boy. Save it.
It's hard to beat people twice in a year. You got the scout, you got a revenge game, the mental edge. We're taking Tulane.
I like it.
Good for you. I'm going to go with Ole Miss. I think we're all just excited to see Ole Miss play a football game after all the noise. And I think Charlie Weiss and the 4 offensive assistants that went back will really get this offense ready to roll.
I'm not sure anybody's going to beat your team twice this year. That's for sure. Hey, how about James Madison in Oregon? That is a 94%er.
I'm going with the Ducks. I think they're going to run away with this game.
Yeah, Oregon's too much for them.
James Madison could be a problem all the way in Eugene, but give me Oregon to get away. Congrats to landing.
Yeah, I'm going to Oregon. My longtime agent, 10 years now, Greg Lawrence. Oregon a lot. He'd be disappointed if I took anybody else. So.
Smart.
The only way you see a big Cinderella story or upsets we talked about earlier is when the team that's favored just takes the other team for granted, shows up flat. That will not be the case with Oregon. Dan Lanning will have them ready to play.
Lanning will have to. Both of his coordinators moving on to head coaching jobs after the season, however long that run goes for Oregon. Winner of that game gets Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl.
Reese, you want to pick JMU? Yeah.
For the graphic, I thought about it. I might have picked Tulane to save the graphic, but Alex took care of that there. And it is now time to make the pick. Will it be the Aggies that move on, or will the Canes come in and make it 2 for 2? Road teams winning playoff games this season.
But when it comes to playoff games, I think the team that's the hungriest team will be victorious, and the A&M knew that they were going to be in the CFP. They had a fantastic season, but the Hurricanes, they didn't know. They were on the cusp. Was it going to be Miami, Notre Dame? Miami got denied. They're hungry at the Aggies right now. I'm going with the U.
Oh, that's full boot. That's not even a hiss. That's not
straight to the booze. That's big.
You know, I love everything about Texas A&M. I love the spirit here. I love the tradition. I love the military. I love Mike Elko. I love their team. But I can't go against Jason Taylor and Mario Cristobal. I'm picking Miami to win the game.
Wow, how do I follow this right here? Miami has proven that, in my opinion, they deserve to be in this game. The obvious discussion about them and Notre Dame. Now they get the opportunity to prove it. I think this is one of those games that comes down to who has the home field. The fact that it's in Kyle Field, this place is electric. It's going to be interesting. I think Carson Beck's the key to the game. Does he protect the ball, or does he have a couple turnovers? I think the difference, in my opinion, is the A&M quarterback, Marcel Reed. I got A&M. Dig him.
Great pick. I mean, I don't have to go on and explain anything else. It's in front of the 12th man, first college football playoff game. Give me the Aggies by 1 million. By 1 million.
Pat, what do you say, kid.
Now, I got my cowboy hat on. I got a belt buckle on. I got my rattlesnakes on my feet. And I think the reason why I've become so comfortable dressing like a cowboy is because we had the chance to come down to College Station multiple times last year, and I fell in love with this place. This place loves ball. This place shows up in droves at midnight, the night before every single game, to practice how they're going to yell, to practice how they're going to intimidate the other team. Well, Miami ain't going to be intimidated by anything. They deserve to make it into the 12-team playoff. Carson Beck had been here, done that. Malachi Toney is electrifying. Ruben Bain, Mesidor on the defensive side. They ain't worried about nothing. And I think that's a mistake. 110,000 people ready to lose their mind. I'll be on the field, on the call with my boys on ESPN2, and what we're going to be calling, howdy, a Texas A&M college football playoff dub at home. And there's only 2 words you got to say. You find that frog. Today it's the Canes, and you dig 'em, baby!
From historic Kyle Field in College Station, Texas, in front of well over 100,000 people, the number 10 seed, the Miami Hurricanes, taking on the number 7 seed, the Texas A&M Aggies, here in the home of the 12th man. Both coaches said special teams will be big in this one. Cristobal used the word monstrous. Both teams have dangerous return men. It's Terry Bussey back for the kickoff from the strong-legged Carter Davis with the wind at his back. That's a touchback. And now the field goal situation, which is tenuous at best. We asked Mike Elko yesterday, who will be your kicker? Will it be Jared Zirkle or Randy Bond? He asked, can you kick?
To which you said yes.
And he's hopeful that Zirkle will knock one through. He was the backup to start the year, but Randy Bond, there it is. It is deflected on a low kick. Wesley Bissaint bringing it back. The nightmare continues for Mike Elko. So unlike Texas A&M, Miami has a solid kicking situation. That wasn't the case at the beginning of the year. Carter Davis. And that ball, you could see it get driven wide by the wind. Carter Davis was 4 for 11 in his career at FAU, but he won the battle, and he's been outstanding all season long. Missed his first today from 47. This is from 40, and the lead at the half. Oh, those kickers. We keep using golf analogies. This is just about a gimme for a kicker. Even with the breezy day, a 21-yard try for Davis. For the first points of this game early in the third quarter. And a sigh of relief for Mario Cristobal. Now here's Davis, made the 21-yarder moments ago. That's off the upright and no good. This is from 35 to tie it. And right down the middle. And how good has he been for most of his career? That's his 71st career field goal, tying him with Seth Small for the Texas A&M all-time field goals made record.
Got to think they continue to lean on the ground and pound.
5 plays on the drive, all of them carries by Fletcher for 75 yards. Undoubtedly, no, they're not going to give it again. They're going to give it to Toney. Toney scores a touchdown. What a call by Shannon and Dawson. Beautifully executed. E.J. Smith, the running back. Reed gets it to the end zone. Intercepted! Picked off again by the freshman, Bryce Fitzgerald.
And the Hurricanes punch their ticket to the quarterfinals.
Tony, the true freshman from South Florida, the game-winning touchdown. Bryce Fitzgerald, true freshman from Miami, the game-sealing interception. Two young men who decided to go to Miami to help get the U back to national prominence. And it was Mark Fletcher who was really, to me, the biggest hero on that last drive.
Coach, in a time of change, what's impressed you about the way your guys have handled the last few weeks?
Just their resiliency, their grit. They're ready to play a real football game, so they've been locked in, so I'm excited to watch them.
Best of luck.
Appreciate you.
Back to return the Patrick Durkin kickoff. 73 of his 82 kickoffs have gone for touchbacks. And that is the case again. Lacey's first touch straight up the middle and straight into the end zone. You cannot start better than that. There has familiarity with the program. There's the block and there's the score. Trinidad Chambliss just letting Lacey pave the way. Folks, they just set the Guinness record for the most Santa hats. The previous record was 30,333, the Anaheim Angels game. It's now 68,002.
We look like Santa's naughty elves.
Guinness World Record.
I like being part of history, though.
Enjoy it. Patrick Durkin is the American Conference Special Teams Player of the Year, and he's out to try to get Tulane on the scoreboard with a 39-yard attempt. And he does just that. Instead, he quickly gets it to Stribling, who goes into the end zone for a touchdown. This offense looking to add to the scoreboard. Logan Diggs trying to power ahead, and he does. Set him off, light it up. It's party time at the Grove. Chambliss going to scoot ahead, and he dives ahead for the touchdown. Have they ever? Think about the success that he has had. As this is the tight end Reed, as he strides inside the 10 and right into the end zone. Justin Reed with the touchdown when they were leading in the fourth quarter. And they're going to do it with a new head coach who they absolutely love out of the gate. Pete Golding is 1 for 1, and he's going to lead this team on New Year's Day a step closer for a hopeful national championship.
Pete, that was a dominant first-round performance. What impressed you most about the way your team played tonight?
I was just excited for them to put everything behind them and get back on the grass and do what they love to do. And so they created a great opportunity for themselves and came out and responded how I thought they would.
Trinidad Chambliss, we're kind of soaking it in right here. How do you best describe this environment, this atmosphere, this feeling?
Man, this is amazing. You know, hearing these fans, you know, we love them. We love the support that they have, and I'm happy that Ole Miss got a first playoff win.
It's been a tumultuous last month here in Oxford. How was the team able to get off to such a fast start today, given the drama?
I think we just wanted to play football. Yeah, appreciate you. We haven't played in about 3 weeks, and we were hungry to play. We were watching the SEC championship game, and we felt like we should have been in that, but it is what it is. But, you know, our guys, we just want to win, and we want to play football.
What type of response does Pete Golding get from the team?
We love PG. You know, he's a motivator. He knows how to get to us, and yeah, he loves to win. So we like playing for a guy like that.
Very few places in sports can bring the thunder like Autzen Stadium. The Oregon Ducks faithful have reached decibel levels considered dangerous to the human ear, and that certainly makes it dangerous for whoever visits Eugene. Tonight, it's a true David versus Goliath. James Madison hopes to shock the world. It's the final game, round one of the college football playoff. The final game of round one of the college football playoff is underway. Fireworks fly here at Autzen. Ryan on the kickback. Spins, rather. Whittington all the way out across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. So that is pretty good field position for Dante Moore. Four-man rush. He's well protected again. He's going to take a shot up the seam. In stride, Jabari Jensen. Touchdown.
Cloud the running lanes. It's 2 times the turnover. He did a nice job on this drive.
And Morgan Suarez is good from 30 yards to get the Dukes on the board. Quarterback keeper. Moore to the pylon and in. Another Oregon touchdown.
Just by his body language and way in which he executes this offense, he's in control.
Pitch to De'Aaron Hill. Gets the edge. Stays in bounds. Touchdown. Play action for Dante Moore. Floats one to a one-on-one. Backing up McClellan. Did he haul it in? Yes. That's another Oregon touchdown. Moore off play action. A deep shot to the end zone. Drops it right down the chimney to Malik Benson. Another Oregon touchdown. So after the timeout, 38 yards on the way for Suarez. And good. Wide open, button hook to the sideline. DeGennaro makes a man miss. He's trying to find the front right pylon, makes a move into the end zone for a James Madison touchdown. Terrific catch and run by Nick DeGennaro, 47 yards when he first arrived. As Moore is going to take a shot. Guess who? Benson, touchdown. Right on cue. So the guy that starts the year as a look team wide receiver and doesn't mind being on the scout team gets a chance to play with all the injuries. And boy, has he become an Oregon weapon. He does it again. Blocked punt. And it's going to be a scoop and score. And they've done it again. Barnett, this time all day to throw. Loops one, back left corner of the end zone. And a rolling catch, it looks like, is made for the touchdown.
As they've rotated more players in here, the mistakes have started to increase.
A little Philly special. Leaping into the end zone is Lakota Dupre. It looked like he might wanted to throw the football. And instead, he did the work himself. So the tight end. 4th and goal. Barnett, straight quarterback run. And he breaks the plane for the touchdown. (51-34) is the final. And you can see Chris Button is with the winning coach.
And the explosiveness that you had, you score on special teams. What are you most pleased with today?
We didn't play our best football, right? We turned the ball over multiple times. We got to play better on defense. It's like tail of two halves. Played well in the first half. Didn't play well in the second. We can play much better than that.
As you look ahead next week to get to play Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl, what will be the focus for you as you're talking about some of the things you want to clean up?
Getting better, period. Getting better, right? We got an opportunity to advance. Now we got an opportunity to improve.
You told us this week when you guys are playing loose and having fun, that's when you're at your best. How much fun was tonight?
Man, it's a blessing, like Pancho always says. We got to give glory to God all the time. And, we're one of 12 teams in the playoffs. I mean, it's a dream come true as us kids, praying to be here. And overall, like I said, we get to advance to, next week. But the biggest thing right now is learning from our mistakes and getting our bodies recovered.
Hey, and now 1 of 8. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you. God bless.
How do you think Bama fans should feel about their head coach now?
It should feel great. And what's so interesting, and back to what Dan said about when everybody was texting everybody else down 17-0, the text that I was getting, the messages I was receiving about Kalen DeBoer were about as ugly as I have ever seen. Alabama fans saying, hey, I'll pay for the plane. I'll charter the plane right now to take him from Norman to Ann Arbor. That's how bad it was about 9 o'clock on Friday night. But today, I think everybody is taking a deep breath. And I think if Alabama fans are smart, they would look at the fact that they have one of the 5 best coaches in the country. His record against top 10 teams is simply unbelievable. He continues to do it. And I think most important, I think Alabama fans ought to think about this. Penn State wanted DeBoer, and I'm telling you right now, Michigan would have paid any price to get Kalen DeBoer to be its next head coach. But instead, he's staying at Alabama.
8 of the top 10 picks in Field Yates' latest mock draft will be playing this week in the CFP quarterfinals, including 3 players from Ohio State, Heisman winner Fernando Mendoza and Oregon's Dante Moore, who he has right now going second and being the second quarterback being taken off the list.
Ty Simpson, I just don't think he's going to have a great game against Indiana in that defense, which leaves more. And I think a lot of what's going to happen in this Oregon and Texas Tech game is going to come down to big plays. Both of these teams have explosive plays, and it's about who has the most explosive plays, 20 yards or more. Both these teams are top in the country in that, especially Oregon. I think if Moore could get some of these explosive plays out of the way and, really turn the tide in this game, this could really raise his stock, especially against the Texas Tech defense.
Ohio State, Miami, Heather, final word.
I think it does matter a little bit. You're talking about game day operations in your biggest game of the year. You got to have your guys in the box ready. Ryan Day doesn't want his eyes down on that call sheet the whole time. You got to get your call into the quarterback. Ryan Day is a great play caller, but it's the smoothness of the operation. They got to execute it quickly.
But obviously, one of the huge storylines here, Greg, is Lane Kiffin departing and all of that. So as you have prepared for the game and as you have talked to the people there at Ole Miss, what impact does that have on what we're going to see on the field on Thursday?
Well, honestly, Greeny, not a ton. I mean, the players, did they interact with Lane Kiffin? Of course. Does Lane Kiffin give you an advantage on game day? Yes. His eyes on the sideline, his ability to make quick tweaks right before the snap to maybe create a double move against a favorable matchup, absolutely super valuable. But the players and the staff that will remain beyond this playoff experience, they have a chip on their shoulder. They really do. They want to prove to the world that they are more than just one individual that is leaving to take over for their arch rival at LSU. This is a program that has been built with tremendous resources. They have great players. They have a great identity offensively and defensively. And I think they're eager to prove that and right the wrongs of the unfortunate fourth quarter from last time out when they played against the Georgia Bulldogs and they got outscored 17-0 en route to a 9-point loss.
This Ohio State defense allowing a little more than 8 points per game, on par with the great Nick Saban defense in 2011, lowest in the last 35 years. Wow. And the Canes get something going. Who do you think is going to win the game and go ahead and advance into the national semifinals and play in the Fiesta?
I think Ohio State wins this game. I think they put pressure on Carson Beck. Yeah. Again, we talked about he has to make plays down the field. I don't know that he can do that against Ohio State's defense.
I think that Miami's going to win this game because their defense is going to put a lot of pressure on first-year starter Julian Sain, and we're going to see how he's going to respond. Did respond well in the Big Ten championship game against the Hoosiers, and I believe that the Canes' front seven is just as good, if not better, than Indiana's front seven. So I think that the Canes' defense is going to rise to the occasion, and the Miami Hurricanes are going to beat the Buckeyes.
Welcome to the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. This is the first of 4 quarterfinal games of the college football playoff with a triple header on ESPN tomorrow. And the quarterfinal round is underway. A touchback. So Carson Beck in his first year at Miami after transferring from Georgia. 35-5 as a starting quarterback. Best among active players. 14-3 against ranked teams. 3rd best in the last 20 years. And Beck hits Fletcher out of the backfield. Touchdown Miami. After the loss of 6, another pass play that's intercepted. Taking it back is Keontae
And Kazmera.
Saying over the middle. He's got Smith for a first down. Into the end zone, touchdown. There is a penalty flag, the first one of the night.
It's going to be a hold on 41 Chase Smith.
Holding. Defense number 41. The penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Julian saying, you said it, they trust their young quarterback. He hung in there. Found Jeremiah Smith. They snap it with 1 on the play clock. Brown into the end zone. Touchdown, Miami! But the Hurricanes are moving on to the semifinals. They will await the winner of tomorrow's All-State Sugar Bowl between Ole Miss and Georgia. A check that they will not have to snap it. The game is over. The Verbo Fiesta Bowl has 1 team in it. Miami advances to the semifinal. 3 more quarterfinals tomorrow.
What emotions are you dealing with right now?
Well, first, thanks to God, the big guy upstairs, man, always number 1. We talked about it, right? Our guys have really worked hard at being a physical, violent bunch. And you know what? Coach Johnson, there you go, brother. There you go, Green Tree practice field. Let's go. Wait for me, don't leave. Don't leave, don't leave. I just think it's, look at it, man. These guys, they've been down there. You see how we work, how we practice. And they just kind of got tired of hearing how everybody, we're focused on us.
You came to Miami because you believe this team could be right here headed to the college football semifinal and hopefully more with that. What are you most proud of in this moment?
Man, just the way that this team has responded to adversity. We knew coming into today that it wasn't going to be easy. I mean, it's a damn good football team on the other side right there. And, I mean, it was a battle. It took all 4 quarters until the very last minute. And I'm just so proud of how we fought adversity and just continue to fight throughout the game.
Last question for me. You ran a lot tonight. How are your legs?
They feel great. Let's play again.
I love it, Coach. Thank you. Dave?
They will play again. They're moving on to the semifinals to face the winner of Georgia and Ole Miss.
The Sun has yet to make an appearance, and it might be a scarce visitor to the Rose Bowl, potentially weather unlike any this storied venue and game has seen in more than 70 years. But even with a soggy track, there is no more pristine setting in college football. A cathedral standing majestically along the Arroyo Seco. And when daylight arrives, assuming it does, the San Gabriels will form a great backdrop. And legends will be written on this stage. And also once in Miami and New Orleans, because the day belongs to college football. New Year's Day. Traditional powers, transcendent turnarounds, resurgent juggernauts, and historically teams that were also ran, now running with the Giants. We're going to have precipitation, but you can't rain on this parade. New Year's Day in Pasadena and the quarterfinals of the college football playoff. Let's make our Coors Light game picks now. We're going to start with the nightcap tonight, which will be Georgia and Ole Miss in the Sugar Bowl. Desmond, who wins it?
Well, Georgia won the first one. It was a close game, but Georgia pulled away late. I think this game will be close early, but Georgia was going to win convincingly in the fourth quarter. So I'm going with the Bulldogs.
As I was flying last night from the Cotton Bowl here to the Rose Bowl, I said, I'm not picking any team that hasn't played yet. Because the trend has been that if you get that first-round game, you can knock off some rust, and you can kind of have a little bit of momentum going into the second round. It feels like at least 5 straight that this has happened. And then I started looking into this again. I can't pick against Kirby. Georgia's locked in on just Georgia football. I think Georgia Bulldogs get a win here, but shout out to Golden doing his thing.
Yeah, I think the fact that Georgia beat Ole Miss the first time, and I think Georgia's a lot better team right now than they were then. The improvements on defense. I got to pick Georgia.
Ole Miss been through a lot, obviously, and Charlie Weiss Jr. coming back and all the offensive assistants coming back has been huge. I just don't think it's going to be enough. Remember in this game, first time they matched up, Georgia scored all 8 possessions. I just think that Zachariah Branch, Colby Young, too much. Gunnar Stockton's going to play great.
I know.
You would like to save the graphic, Reese? That's very kind of you.
I would not. I'm not tempted. I think the dogs roll.
But we like this Ole Miss story has been
respectful.
Awesome. Yeah,
absolutely. Great job.
Let's keep it going.
No doubt. Kirk's not going to make a pick. He's calling the Rose Bowl again. Nobody's called more Rose Bowls. Alabama or Indiana?
So Oh, man. So we were in Norman, Oklahoma for the Oklahoma game. In Alabama, I thought they were going to roll, but then I got caught up in the atmosphere, and I picked Oklahoma. Huge mistake. Not going to happen again. Roll Tide.
Wow.
Wow. I think
Not alone.
Hey, you and me both over there in Oklahoma.
Yes, sir.
I mean, we fell in love with what was going on. The light
show, the laser show.
Yeah, the home field advantage.
Yeah.
We kind of fell for. I went for Oklahoma pretty big, and then we looked like geniuses for a large portion of that game.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden, Alabama woke up. And on that note, shouts Kalen DeBoer. You're a phenomenal coach, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited for how you've been able to fill in
You're a good
shoes
man.
and the goat and everything like that. But this one's written in the stars, brother. The Indiana Hoosiers are winning the Rose Bowl.
What do you do? What do you do? Who?
So,
Hoosiers. I'm calling the game as well, and I'm still making a pick.
So
Field
pass on ESPN too. Field pass today from here.
So is your team rested or rusty?
Okay.
Give me a little scouting report before I make my pick.
We're talking about Signetti. What do you think? They're rested. The boys are ready. It does scare the hell out of
Look,
me.
I really do think Alabama got their mojo back a little bit in the Oklahoma game. They'd been reeling for a while. They came back in the game. I got to go with Bama.
Oh man, I thought you were going to pick Indiana there.
Game that's about to start right now. You got the Orange Bowl, Texas Tech, Oregon.
I've been riding with the Red Raiders from the jump, so I'm not going to hop off the bandwagon now. Let's go Texas Tech.
I feel like the Oregon Ducks get it done. I don't love it. I just think that Dan Lanning has a lot to pull from after that JMU win. I love Texas Tech. I appreciate them. Give me the Oregon Ducks to get a big-time win.
I think the difference in this game is Oregon's defensive front against Texas Tech's O-line. I think that's going to be the difference in the game. Give me the Oregon Ducks.
This is a coin flip. You know, I think Decoria Moore and Gary Brandt coming back will be the difference. I like Oregon close game.
Oh, wow. I'm out there by myself.
Hey, it's fine. I
You
don't
are
like
by
that.
yourself.
I like it like that.
And we're just now about 10 seconds away from finding out which way it's going to go. This quarterfinal New Year's Day about to kick off from the greater Miami area, Texas Tech and Oregon.
Happy New Year from South Florida, where right here, right now, the college football playoff offers up Texas Tech and Oregon, the start of the 3 tradition-rich New Year's Day bowls. For what most feel is the best sit back, take it all in day of ball there is. As we are underway on New Year's Day. Moore on 3rd and 8. Pressure, and they get to him. He is sacked by the best in the biz, David Bailey. 14.5 sacks now on the season. So it'll be a 50-yard attempt for Atticus Sappington. And that is well struck. 39-yard attempt for Sappington. Good lift and rotation and through. Aaron Morton, empty set here on 3rd and 11. He only has 7 completions for 40 yards in this Orange Bowl. Oh, the ball is out! The ball is out! Uiagalelei has it! Uiagalelei, and then he fumbles and returns to the 5-yard line, recovering it. Mateo Uiagalelei has put Oregon in prime position. Strip sack, fumble return. Davison into the end zone. You can see the emotion setting in for Texas Tech. 12-win team, Big 12 champions, come here to South Florida with such hope. As Davison will thicken up that box score. Cameron Dickey's carry should put an end to it right here. And the Oregon Ducks, their first appearance in the Orange Bowl, and they are the winners. The Ducks advance to the CFP semifinals.
Coach, that was a defensive clinic. 4 takeaways, 3 of which came from a true freshman. How much pride did you have watching your defense today?
Man, it was a lot of fun. You know, last week a lot of people talked about our defense. They showed up today, right? I hold them to 0. It's a really good offense. It's a really good team that we just got to play. And our guys went out there and they just played the next play, played the next play, played the next play. They got in the red area, we played the next play, right? Offense just kept punching and punching. We out-physicaled them there at the end, and that's where it needed to show up.
How much does it mean to you to have those moments that nobody else saw pay off for you in the biggest moments like tonight?
I mean, you get in what you get out what you put in. So, I mean, even if I didn't have the season that I'm having right now, I would still be putting in the work. I'm not really expecting any outcome. I do it to know that, just to build confidence.
It's not over yet. Enjoy this. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Cloud ceiling is low, but the spirits are very high. And a very compelling, interesting matchup between one of the true blue bloods in the program and Indiana, one of the best stories in sports, period, with what they've done to get here in year 2 under Kurt Cignetti. A lot of crimson in here. It's hard to tell the fans apart, but it'll be electric when the game gets going. The CFP quarterfinal at the Rose Bowl game presented by Prudential. Roman Hemby, excellent running back for the Hoosiers, is back deep. Here we go. And the line drive kick will sail out of the end zone, and the Hoosiers will start at the 25-yard line. Mendoza from Cal to Indiana. Kirk, a quantum improvement. He's talked about getting the coaching of Cignetti and Shanahan and Chandler, how much he has improved. He's really the same regardless of the game situation. Trailing, leading, and the team appreciates that steadiness. So after all that, 31-yard field goal to cap a long march by the Hoosiers, and they draw first blood in the first play of the second quarter. They're showing pressure. Here it comes. Mendoza has time. Blows end zone. Caught! Touchdown, Becker! Mendoza on fire early. The 21-yard strike. No more timeouts to work with. So they're looking to throw, and Mendoza flips it. Easy pitch and catch. There's Omar Cooper Jr. And Indiana stretches the lead before halftime. What a show by the Hoosiers in the first 30.
Yeah, man coverage. And Omar Cooper, who's been making plays all year for Indiana, just runs away from Xavier Brown. It was a mesh concept, but really it was just the speed of Cooper. He outran Xavier Brown. Mendoza knew it all along, just waited for him to clear and just put it out in front of him for the touchdown.
3rd and 1, looking to throw. Launching to the end zone. Surratt's out there. Touchdown Hoosiers. Pouring it on. "24-yard strike from 28 to get Alabama on the board here. Final 3 minutes of the third quarter. Alabama drove it 65 yards. Took more than 5 minutes, though, and the lead is still 21 for the top seed. Perfect 50-50 talent.
That's pretty good.
Black bursting free. Hoosiers punctuate. An incredible performance.
Congrats to Indiana.
The Hoosiers hammer Alabama here in Pasadena and head to the semifinals, the Peach Bowl, for a chance to play in the national championship game. Two guys who traveled similar paths, mutual respect. DeBoer's team outplayed in every phase today.
Yeah, again, a lot of respect there. One of the things that we're about to hear from him, but he's going to he'll put it in perspective. It's a good win. He'll put it behind him, get ready to move on to the next challenge. And for Alabama, get into the offseason, make some adjustments, and try to come back stronger.
Yeah, Coach, congratulations. How are you guys able to out-physical those boys from the SEC on both sides of the ball today?
We've been a pretty physical team all year long, and you know, it's a great win against a great football team with a storied tradition. And I thought our guys played really hard from the first snap to the last snap, and proud of them. And we got done what we wanted to get done, and looking forward to the flight home and a day off tomorrow, and we'll get ready for the next game.
What is so special about you in this group?
Well, first of all, my team and I want to give all the glory to God. What a historic venue, the Rose Bowl, one of the best venues in all of sports. It's just a great conglomerate of individuals coming together and really forming complementary football. Coach Sig has hit on us no complacency, and especially when you have a bye, it's tough to get in the rhythm of football. But once we got our feet on the ground, we knew that we're going to stick together and come out with this W. All respect to them. I mean, I got to get the game plan. You got to get to watching film now. They're a tough opponent.
I'm going to give you a few minutes to go enjoy this one. How about that?
Thanks so much. God bless.
It is my honor to present you with the Leishman Trophy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, you know, for a couple of years now, I would say you've been smelling like roses, but now you really are. How would you describe the efficiency, the precision, the discipline that your team showed with one of the best performances we've ever seen on this field?
I mean, this team has been very consistent most of the season, all three phases. Got a lot of senior guys, played a lot of football with great character. They're good players, and we've been very efficient. But it's a great win. A lot of respect for Alabama. It's a great program, great tradition. It's a great win for us. And you know what? I'm just so proud of our staff and our players. And a special thanks to President Pam Whitten, Scott Dolson, our AD, for making the commitment where we have a chance to be successful. And it's a great win. And tomorrow will be good. We all got a day off, and then we'll get ready for the next one.
Well, that's one of the remarkable things, Kurt, about what you've been able to accomplish. With the way you guys have turned around this program, you keep setting a new standard for the greatest moment in Indiana history. First, it was winning a game like Oregon on the road. Then it was beating Ohio State for the Big Ten championship. Now it's winning the Rose Bowl for the first time and going to the semifinals. How would you describe the turnaround and what you've been able to build in a short period of time?
It'd be a hell of a movie.
Who would star as Kurt Signetti in the movie?
I don't know about that one, but there'd be a big cast of characters because it's all about people. You got to have the right people on your staff, the right guys in the locker room, and we've been very fortunate. And these guys buy in. They all think alike. They play like we want them to play. There's been a lot of firsts. It is kind of surreal. There's no doubt about it. I understand why there's been a lot of skeptics, but I only have one thing to say. Hoosiers!
From Caesars Superdome in New Orleans, it's the last game of this quarterfinal round in this year's college football playoff. An all-Southeastern Conference matchup between the number 6 seed Ole Miss and 3rd seeded Georgia. The surroundings familiar for the Bulldogs and their fans. They're in the All-State Sugar Bowl for the 2nd year in a row by virtue of their back-to-back SEC championships. They're in the college football playoff for the 4th time in the last 5 seasons. The Dogs have won it all twice in that span, giving Kirby Smart one more national title than Pete Golding has games as head coach of Ole Miss. And the All-State Sugar Bowl is underway. And Hartrip isn't even going to try it. So here comes Ole Miss on offense, led by Trinidad Chambliss, the 23-year-old from Grand Rapids, Michigan, first year with the Rebels after a career at Ferris State. They are indoors. He has a big leg. Lucas Carnero, that has all kinds of distance. And good. We just made a career-long 55-yarder with all kinds of room to spare. That made field goal tied Jonathan Nichols' mark for field goals made in a season for Ole Miss. Nichols did it in 2003. This is from 56 yards. My goodness. I mean, these would be good from 70.
Every bit of it. Is there wind going right to left in the dome here? I mean, that is unbelievable.
Stockton after the pump fake. Inside the 5. Into the end zone for a touchdown. Lacey goes out. Georgia brings a blitz. Chambliss end zone. Touchdown. Luke Hance, a tight end. Stockton sidestepped the rush. He got blasted as he got it to Cash Jones. Cash Jones down at the 1-yard line. Now he punches it in for the touchdown. No after effects of that big hit. In a college football playoff, especially against Georgia and defensive minds like Kirby Smart. There's a fumble picked up by Dalen Everett. Touchdown, Georgia. Kewan Lacey, the fumble, knocked out by the freshman Elijah Griffin. Deuce Alexander, the motion man. Lacey has the corner and a touchdown. Winner to the semifinal to take on Miami in the Fiesta Bowl. Kewan Lacey lunges for the goal line. Touchdown! Chambliss with pressure coming. Back of the end zone. Caught for 2. Trey Wallace. What a night he's having. 12 consecutive completions for Chambliss. Going for 13. He has it. And another touchdown. Harrison Wallace having the night of his life. Pressure up the middle. Picked up. Stockton to the end zone. And it is caught for a touchdown. Zachariah Branch. He's the most accurate kicker in school history by a mile, and that one is dead center. He's at just about 89% for his career. To give them the lead and likely send them on to the semifinal. "47 yards. And it is good! Right down the middle! There's a chance, and a much better one than a moment ago. Stockton. The Georgia receivers really aren't moving. Very few people are moving. They're going to try to lateral it many times. Cash Jones. Lawson Lucky at the 35. Back for Jones. For Colby Young. They've gone backwards to the 30. Now Lucky at his own 26. Flag thrown. Cash Jones. Up for grabs for Young. He's trying to get rid of it and does. And they take Stockton to the ground to end it. Perkins and Andrew Jones. There is a flag down. It's against Georgia. This one is finally over. And Ole Miss wins 39-34.
Coach Golding, it wasn't without drama at the end there, but just your second game as a head coach. You win a playoff quarterfinal in your home state of Louisiana. You have your sons around you. What emotions are going through you right now?
No, I'm just so excited for our players. The adversity they've been through, the resiliency they've shown, to come out, get down, not play very well in the first half. Thought they came out and responded in the second half. Didn't play perfect by any means, but their energy, their effort, their body language, just really excited and proud of them.
What allowed you all to come together to get a win like this over a team like Georgia?
Yeah, just our grit, you know. We just want to win. We just want to play football and win and have fun with our brothers. You know, ever since fall camp, this is our goal. You know, get to the college football playoff and hopefully get to the national championship.
What do you think your mom's going to say?
She's probably crying right now, honestly. But she's pretty proud right now, I bet. So I got to find her.
All right, go find your mom. Thanks, Trinidad.
You
know, we were all together at halftime, and the way the half ended for Ole Miss was sort of embarrassing. And then they end up winning this game. And they listen, there's a lot of credit that goes to the players, right? I don't want to take anything away from that. But, Jordan, the way that Pete Golding has been able to bring this team together, some of the decisions that he made, some of the plays that were called in this one, I mean, Charlie Weiss Jr. deserves a ton of credit, too.
Absolutely.
What can you say just about the way that they brought this together that ultimately led to a win?
That was his second game as the head coach of the Ole Miss Rebels, going against probably the greatest coach in college football right now, Kirby Smart, a two-time national championship as a head coach at Georgia. And Pete outcoached him.
Yeah.
He really did. He made decisions when they needed to be made. He was aggressive at times. He inspired his players. He allowed them to play free. He allowed them to be aggressive. He allowed Charlie Weiss to be aggressive with play calling. I thought it was a fantastic job by Pete. And just, he kept the entire ship from sinking all month. When everything was working against him, coaches half in, half out, players probably half in, half out, getting contacted by everybody, coaches all across the country, I imagine. That happens, and he kept them together to focus on the biggest game in Ole Miss history, and they performed when they needed it most.
Who impressed you the most, RC?
Trinidad Chambliss, and we could try to make it sexy and talk about all these other quarterbacks who are probably bigger names who we've spoken about the entire season more often, but this is a guy that came from Ferris State winning a championship. Wasn't supposed to be the starter and wasn't the starter at the beginning of the season. Gets his opportunity and seizes it. Eight times this year he's passed for over 300 yards, but none of them bigger than this. Coming off of an Egg Bowl when he went for 360. And now you enter this game after beating Tulane against Georgia, the vaunted Georgia defense, Kirby Smart, and all of his national championship college football playoff experience. And you will your team to a win.
Bum, who is next in the state of Alabama. Good afternoon, Bum.
Hey, Paul, how you been doing? I ain't heard from you in a while. I was
yes, sir.
I've been checking for the Oilers games all year. I ain't been able to find them, so I figured I'd watch your favorite college football team this weekend from the skybox. And I saw these stallions running out on the field from Alabama, and then I saw a bunch of nags come out with the Indiana logo flag in front of them. And I said, well, this is going to be a whooping like we ain't never seen. And I was most surprised Signetti took his and he beat Yorn. He just didn't beat Yorn. He gave him the best colonoscopy prep I've ever seen.
I think Ole Miss has a phenomenal story, and I get it. But I'm going to say Miami for a similar reason that I said earlier in the show. I'm fantasizing about what Miami could potentially do. I mean, this cat Bain and Macedon, the way these cats get after it. I mean, listen, when you look at Miami, look at who they beat. I mean, look at who they beat to get there. And so I'm looking at it from that standpoint. And I'm saying if these cats go out there to beat Texas A&M, to beat Ohio State, to beat both of them, I mean, one would argue that the road to the Final Four they've had the toughest one. And they've looked like monsters on the defensive side of the ball, really, really getting after it.
It just wrecks the model for everyone else. John Summerall's taking the job at Florida now. Alex Golesh is taking the job at Auburn right now. Can you imagine those guys trying to sell their administration on a good 2, 3, 4-year plan? And they're saying, hold on. And they're clicking on the college football semifinal tonight. That's the Indiana head coach, right? Those are the ones that just drug Alabama, right? It's a tough scene for everyone else. But the answer is, yes, this is a massive, historic turnaround.
And Miami has felt the sting in the Arizona desert. The two most painful losses in Hurricane history happened right here in Arizona. This bowl, one they've never won. And to restore the U, the obstacle is the way. Ole Miss has faced the obstacle, jilted by a coach. The Rebels didn't stay in downward dog, and now they have a golden opportunity. The offense is bolstered by temp workers on a staff doing double duty and fueled by a leader of an unlikely Rebel alliance in Trinidad Chambliss, a national champion at Ferris State. But the Rebels, as they get set to take on Carson Beck and the Canes, Ole Miss is through trying to prove people wrong. because all they have is all they need. This is the biggest game in Ole Miss history. They've never won an AP national championship, UPI coaches in the old days. Only a Football Writers Association went in the 60s. Time now for a game pick brought to you by Coors Light. College football playoff semifinal. Who goes to the national championship game, to you or Ole Miss?
It's going to come down to the battle in the trenches. You look at Ole Miss, they got some dogs with Harris and Echols up front. But Massador, Ruben Bain, Scott from Miami, I think this group, they've been just adopted the passion from their head coach, Mario Cristobal. So I'm going with the U. I will see you guys January 19th at Hard Rock.
Okay. So I think Ole Miss can win this game if they can get ahead in the game, take Miami out of their comfort zone, get them tired by going fast. But I don't think that's happening. I'm taking Miami.
Wow. Okay, you like Miami. What would you be telling them right now? Your final message to the Miami Hurricanes stepping up for the biggest game they've had in some time.
Yeah, exactly.
I would say I will not be denied what I want. Sugar Ray Leonard said that when he fought Roberto Duran the second time after he lost the first time and got no moss out of him.
No moss, exactly.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Everybody have the discipline to execute. Play with your best as a football player, your best effort, your best toughness, your best discipline to execute, and everybody do it together.
Yep. Yes, sir.
We're going to kick somebody's ass tonight.
I don't know if Miami heard that or not, and I'm calling the game, so I'd like to be non-biased, but I'll tell you what, I think Cristobal is delivering the same message. Give me the Miami Hurricanes and a clean sweep here on our set. And Ole Miss people, you've been battling against the odds all damn season. Go ahead and prove us wrong tonight. It'll take a special effort, we think, against this Hurricanes team, Reese.
Well, Pat, there's no question about that, but Ole Miss has delivered some special efforts. Do they have one more in them? Trinidad Chambliss against this great Hurricane defense.
A collision of two great stories. The resilient Rebels and Hurricanes have defied the odds. They've earned their spot in the desert to punch their ticket to the tropics in the national championship game in Miami a week from Monday. Spot in the championship game on the line here in the desert tonight. Sit back and enjoy. Davis boots it deep into the end zone, and the Rebels will begin from the 25-yard line. We talked about Carter Davis, number 38, from 38 yards. Tough day in the wind at College Station, but only missed 2 field goal attempts other than that all season long. And the transfer, him in from Florida Atlantic, puts Miami on top. 2nd and 3 after the penalty. Lacey up the middle. K1 Lacey's in the clear. It's a foot race. The Hurricanes cannot run him down. A lightning strike for Ole Miss. 73 yards. There's an offensive lineman in the backfield as a lead blocker. Reaching for the end zone is Marty Brown, and Miami goes back on top, flexing on a 15-play touchdown drive. Moten gave him a shove there. Here comes Lucas Carnero, who's just been super clutch. Big part of that victory against Georgia. Obviously had the game winner, but had 2 long-range field goals early. Knocks that one through. Here's one of those 2nd downs and 6. Beck feeling some late pressure. Launching downfield. Wide open is Marion. Another bust. And Miami back on top, 52 yards. Tries this one from 54 to make it a 1-point lead. And he's done it again. Are you kidding me? This bank shot goes in. Can you believe that? 2 doinks. One stays out, one goes through, and it's 17-16. Big difference. That was a 4-point play, that drop. Carnero puts Ole Miss on top, though, 19-17. What a drive. 13 plays, 86 yards. 5:19. That's a marathon for Ole Miss, and penalty aided. Eli's guys up on top now. Back in the game. Fletcher out as Tony comes in motion. They get it to him. Tony has space. Malachi Tony still running. Touchdown Miami. Electric with the ball in his hands. Again, the Canes bring pressure. Chambliss delivers. Touchdown. The Rebels back on top. Chambliss on the move, scanning, end zone, caught! Two-point conversion by Caleb Odom. Three receivers bunch to the left. Becca's looking that way. And still looking, takes off running. Carson Beck with his legs puts Miami on top. What a drive. Chambliss connects the snap, backpedals, launches to the end zone. Broken up. And the Miami Hurricanes head home to play for a championship.
Mario, your heart and soul is Miami. You came back to this place because it meant so much to you, and now your team has the opportunity to play for a national championship. What made the difference tonight?
The big man upstairs. Thank God for everything always, first and foremost. Always, always, always. Secondly, I want to give a ton of credit to our players. I can't even tell you how many of our guys were sick, had the flu, had issues, and all they kept talking about was we're going to find a way, we're going to find a way. So, look, we're focused on, of course, enjoying this one, but we got to get focused on 1-0 one more time.
How did this unit come together to really support each other?
I mean, you said it, all the work that we put in, all the preparation that goes into this. It's for moments like these, you know, you play this game for moments like these, you live for moments like these, you know. Again, I'm so proud of this team. I'm so proud of the way that we fought.
Game, and tonight in the heart of SEC country, Big Ten powers collide. The winner plays for a title. Number 1 Indiana, Curt Cignetti, the author of the most stunning turnaround in the history of college football, and Hoosiers' pride in that last perfect basketball season, and the Heisman winner can keep his team perfect tonight against Oregon and chase that football title. Meanwhile, Oregon looking for its third berth in the national championship game. Dan Lanning, a picture of intensity as he brings his team into Atlanta after having the Hoosiers handled him in October. Dante Moore was harassed, harried, sacked all night by Indiana. Will things be different this time of night? It is a big night, a Big Ten takeover in Atlanta, a berth in the title game at stake in the Peach Bowl. Let's start with our game pick, presented by Coors Light. Who makes it to the national championship game, Des? Will it be Indiana or Oregon?
I tell you, when you look at the Hoosiers, the things that makes them great is things like no mental errors. They don't get penalized a lot. They don't miss a lot of tackles. All of that adds up to a team that simply does not beat themselves. The Hoosiers will be at Hard Rock going up against the Miami Hurricanes in the national championship game.
Wow, what a story that would be for Mendoza going back to Miami.
Absolutely,
grew up right next. By the way, I told him, he said, Des lives right. He showed me the neighborhood. I said, hey, Des, your neighbor.
100%.
Yeah, so that would be huge. Coach, you're up.
Well, you know, I love Dan Lanning. I think he does a great job with coaching. I think he does a great job motivating his players. I think his team will have to play their best game on both sides of the ball and not make very many mistakes against a team that plays almost with flawless execution. Indiana's not going to give them the game. They're not going to make mistakes. And unless they change, they're going to win the game. So I'm going to pick Indiana.
Okay.
So Des Indiana.
Yeah.
Coach.
Yeah.
Likes Dan Lanning, but he's going to go Indiana.
Uh-huh.
I know what Pat has been definitely going.
Whoa.
I'm really apprehensive here because it's so obvious that Indiana should win this game because of all the reasons the guys have said. But the football gods don't always fall in line with logic. Sometimes the emotions of this game can take it the other way. Despite all that, I do think Indiana's the best team currently in the CFP. I think the execution shows up, and I think they win this game. But I'm nervous.
Hold on.
Okay, all right.
I thought you were going to potentially say football gods might bless Dan Lanning and the Oregon Ducks because of how obvious it all feels to all of us.
Exactly.
And I think the reason why it feels so obvious is because we just watched what they did to Alabama, and then I think people opened their eyes to this Indiana team after they did what they did in the Rose Bowl. They're like, that's a big stage, the Rose Bowl, for them to do that. Let's go back and see how they were the rest of the year. Oh, they were like this all year. This team thumps people. This team's efficient on the offensive side. It all feels too obvious as if Indiana is the best team in the country. Yeah. So maybe Dan Lanning, who is one of the greatest motivators in all of ball, is able to pull from that. Maybe their incredible roster rises to the occasion. There's all those conversations. But the conversations I have most in life are with my wife. And she's a Hoosier through and through. And so am I now. I'm married into this state. I'm lucky to do it. And I think what Signetti's been able to do is special. I think it's one of the great things about this transfer portal, this NIL. It can awaken an entire state. Bring them all the way to Atlanta to watch their team in football take on a powerhouse like the Oregon Ducks. College football is magical, and tonight is going to be another display of that as a fairy tale movie out of Bloomington continues, and Indiana gets a win over the Oregon Ducks.
Standing room only crowd of more than 71,000, most of them clad in cream and crimson, filing into Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta for tonight's college football semifinal. An all-Big Ten affair, the number 5 seed, the Oregon Ducks taking on the top-seeded Indiana Hoosiers. Quinn Warren kicks off for Indiana. The college football semifinal of the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl is underway. Jeremiah McClellan got belted just shy of the 20-yard line. De'Aaron Hill Jr. is the running back. The quick pass is intercepted. It's going to be run in for an Indiana touchdown. D'Angelo Pons on the first play of the game. A pocket again to the end zone. Touchdown! Jamari Johnson. He's at the left end of the offensive line. Mendoza, end zone, caught! Touchdown! Omar Cooper! Nelson Fernando's son, Fernando Mendoza, perfect on the drive, 4 out of 4. Mendoza with Black, the running back. Black, straight ahead, touchdown! Kaylon Black! Signetti brought him to James Madison in the portal where he excelled. Now he's a Hoosier. Deep throw, Charlie Becker! Touchdown, Indiana! Mendoza, quick pass, touchdown! Elijah Surratt! And now 5 wide receivers on 3rd down and 5 for Mendoza. To the end zone, wide open receiver and a touchdown. E.J. Williams. We talk about Indiana as a team. They have 6 touchdowns tonight. They've been scored by 6 different players. Canes, Jay Harris, the running back, in the pistol. And down to the goal line. Touchdown! Moore throws it to the other side. Single coverage. Jamari Johnson the catch for 2. And again, the size advantage there. He's 6'5" against the 5'9" D'Angelo Pons. Mendoza fires, back line of the end zone, touchdown. Elijah Surratt. Kaylon Black, big haul. Kaylon Black, touchdown. Oh, and finally a smile. Harris, long exchange, and then Moore throws a touchdown. Roger Saliapaga, the sophomore tight end, for his first touchdown of the season. And you know they wanted to get it to him. You can see by the way the teammates celebrate. So they win the most recent biggest game in school history. They've had 2 dominant wins in this playoff. 38-3 over one of the great programs of all time, Alabama. Sig face in the crowd. And now 56-22 over the Oregon Ducks.
A lot of respect between these two coaches. Dan Lanning said the other day it's the best coach team in the country, Indiana. How could you argue that?
The Indiana Hoosiers are headed to the national championship game. How does that sound to you?
That sounds good. It means we got it done today. Now we got to get ready for one more.
Coach, I know you're thinking about the next game, but when will you stop and appreciate how special and how historic all of this has been?
I'm really not thinking about the next game. I'm thinking about cracking open a beer.
All right, well, go celebrate with your family. Congrats. Enjoy that beer, Coach.
Thanks.
You grew up just down the street from Miami's campus. Your dad played ball with Mario. What excites you about the opportunity to not just play at home, but to play against the Hurricanes?
Yeah, I think playing any national championship is fantastic, and it means a little bit more to me. I used to be able to walk to University of Miami, used to play rec basketball games there or beach volleyball on the sand courts, and to live under a mile away, it means a lot to myself. However, really excited for the city of Miami to get the opportunity as well, and just can't wait to play in Hard Rock Stadium.
What does this mean for your family, your mom, your parents?
It means a lot. It means the world, and I couldn't have done this without God. And this is just such a great opportunity for my entire team. Like Pat Coogan said, we're a bunch of misfits. There's 0 5-stars on our team. We're just a bunch of gritty guys who are glued together and going towards a common goal, which is to win each and single game.
That's vintage Fernando Mendoza right there. And there's the bracket, the homecoming for Fernando against the Miami Hurricanes on January 19th. We have about 20 seconds before we throw it to Scotty. Your quick thoughts about that matchup?
Miami better be ready to roll, because this Indiana team, they're about as complete and as dominant as I've seen in some time in college football.
Now, Heather Dinich will be there, but for the third consecutive year, Paul Feinbaum will not be there. I won't get to break bread with him because, well, the SEC isn't playing in the national championship game again, Paul. And the Big Ten has a chance to three-peat. So has the Big Ten, in your estimation, have they now become the supreme power in college football?
Yes, Matt. And you know that, and Heather knows it, and I know it. And even though I'm sitting right now across the street from the SEC headquarters, they know it.
I think that when we compare teams, we have to take Indiana in a different category, because I agree with you. Personally, the 2019 LSU team is the best team I ever saw play. But this Indiana team doesn't have 5-star recruits up and down its lineup. It doesn't recruit like LSU did, or that 2001 Miami team laden with NFL players. These guys were 0 stars.
Yeah.
No one has done what Curt Cignetti is about to do, and that puts them in a space all by themselves.
Josh, you heard the spread, 8.5 points. Do you think Miami has a chance to win against Indiana on Monday?
Yes. Does it scare me? Yeah. Do I think the spread is right? Yeah. If I ran old Pate State Sportsbook over here or something, I probably have to put that kind of line out. I do think they have a chance. All right, so if we go back to the Oregon game, we go back to the Alabama game, utter domination, the dam broke early. If I'm looking at Miami, if I'm trying to make the case, and I've been efforting it, clenched fist all week, I'm thinking to myself, they possess a two-way ability on the line of scrimmage to do things to Indiana, or at the very least present problems to Indiana that maybe they didn't see in those games.
What's most interesting is really the human element of this and how people perform at a championship event. I call tennis, it's simple, 2 players on the court. Usually it's decided in the mind. It's not a physical thing. It's somebody gets tight. Somebody's inner voice intrudes. Somebody gets static on the brain and they don't do what they hope to do in those moments. So that to me is the most interesting thing. Who can buffer themselves against that? That's why it's hard to pick against Indiana, because they've been so rock solid. But like I said, this is the ultimate game.
So what's the messaging in that locker room, Coach Cristobal, to the guys to not make the moment too big in front of your family and your home crowd? What's that messaging going into this big game tonight?
Well, you guys have heard me talk about this before. There's nothing more that motivates this young generation of people than being disrespected. And I'm sure that Miami's probably using the whole fact that they're 8.5-point dogs in this game as a disrespect. They're making us irrelevant in terms of all that we've accomplished, and nobody wants to be irrelevant.
Indiana, housed at the Intercontinental Hotel. It's a 15-mile, 25-minute ride to a destination that once seemed like a fantasy. But the reality, Fernando Mendoza and the Hoosiers play for a national championship tonight. Indiana on its way to come and try to finish off a perfect season. Their opposition waiting to board the bus from the legendary Fountain Blue, the Miami Hurricanes. They'll play in their home stadium. They've elevated the level of an always vibrant city. A half-hour ride as Carson Beck tries to come full circle in his personal redemption story against the Heisman Trophy winner in his hometown, but with the Indiana Hoosiers. 4.5 months ago, this season started. Journey much longer in the making. The championship game arrives. Arrival, an appropriate theme. Indiana, new world order of college football, and the old world Canes flexing some traditional muscles. Revival or arrival? A national championship at stake. Tonight as we right now get set to make some picks for the national championship game, Miami and Indiana. Desmond, you're leading off. Who you got?
Well, they say defense wins championships, and I tell you what, Miami came into this tournament disrespected. They were underdog against Texas A&M, went to College Station, played bully ball, knocked off the defending national champs Ohio State, and then had a classic game against Ole Miss when they were the underdog. They're underdogs in their own stadium, Hard Rock Stadium. They feel disrespected. I'm going with the U. They win the Natty tonight.
Well, I tell you what, it's tough to pick anybody in this game, and I feel for both teams because both these teams have done a marvelous job and had a great season in their own right. And Indiana has the most balanced team I've seen in college football for a long time. Great offense, great defense. Quarterback won the Heisman Trophy. But let me tell you something. There's something about this Miami team.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. The competitive character that they have, the spirit that they played with, the tradition. They're hungry.
What?
I am going with the Canes, man.
Okay. Tip of the cap to Coach Corso.
Marcus, that's awesome. I didn't want to do this. Pat said I had to pick a team, and it's hard not to pick Indiana when you live in Indiana. And I love Pat Coogan, their starting center.
Yeah.
But November 7th, 2026, we play Miami. And I know what I would do if somebody picked against us, because I've done it plenty of times when everybody on this set has picked against us. And I'm not going to give Miami any bulletin board material. So my heart says Indiana, but I'm going to use my head, and I'm going to pick Miami.
Wow.
Well, you know, Marcus, I want you to know something. When I did this, and I was coaching, but I wasn't in the championship, I never picked. I never.
They said I had to.
You never know who you're going to play with.
Now, on that note, I did not force Coach Freeman to make a pick. But that being said, it does feel like Notre Dame kind of forced Coach Freeman on College Game Day. ACC's represented in here. Indiana representing the state of Indiana. Pete Bavacqua, incredible at what he does. Let's get Freeman onto that game day show. Coach, next year, hopefully we'll be watching your team out here. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you to both these teams for the years that they've had. Obviously, Cristobal and the way he's gone about doing it down here with President Joe Echevarria and how they've been completely focused on making sports great again. I love that 10-meter high dive. I almost pooped my Speedo as I was flying down there. They were so damn kind to us. And then obviously, whenever you talk about President Pam Whitten in Indiana going all in with Coach Signetti, you think about the special story happening in Indiana. Both these teams are very kind to me, very nice to me, and I don't want to make anybody mad, and I'm calling the game. Okay, I'm calling the game. I know that's a big deal around here. Win their first national championship. They got a Heisman, and Bloomington's about to have a parade. Congrats to the Hoosiers on a huge night down here in Miami, the official school of Indiana. Thank you all so much.
Got the field pass. National championship game is right here.
The biggest and brightest stage awaits. Welcome to Miami and the College Football Playoff National Championship presented by AT&T. This is the AT&T pregame showcase. Well, fresh faces have forged unlikely paths here. A surprising championship matchup. The Indiana Hoosiers on the brink of history, the school's first national championship and a perfect season. A stunning transformation after a century of futility. The Miami Hurricanes championship legacy has laid dormant for about a quarter century. The Canes, outnumbered in their own house tonight, try to continue a rugged path. He would attempt any long-distance field goals that Cignetti elects to try tonight. Well, check that. He boots it to the 1-yard line and a chance for a return. And Marion breaks through one tackle and he'll be stopped at about the 27-yard line. Miami showing some pressure. They bring it. Pitch to the end zone and fought for an incomplete. Well defended. That was O.J. Frederic on Charlie Becker, who's their top red zone weapon down there. Nice breakup.
Yeah, it's a matchup we want to see with Xavier Lucas out of the game. Frederic is not surprised at all with the ability to get his head turned around and get in position, and they will allow the corner to get handsy if his head is locating the football. 29 does a great job in phase, getting his head turned around, so they gave him a little wiggle room there, pushing back and forth with Becker.
So Niko Radicic, almost automatic from 34 yards. Indiana, with the quarterback bleeding a little bit, draws first blood in this game. The Hoosiers, 12-play drive on top, late first quarter here at Hard Rock Stadium. Black, once again, lined up behind Nowakowski. They hand it off to the fullback / tight end, and he powers in. Touchdown, Indiana. A dominant start here for the #1 team. Great job corralling number 10, not letting him get loose. Fletcher breaks free. Mark Fletcher in the foot race. Miami touchdown. And just like that, Miami's bell cow back changes around this championship game. So Dylan Joyce back on. Blocked! Indiana blocks the punt and falls on it for a touchdown! Isaiah Jones on the recovery. Fletcher walks in. Miami touchdown. What a response.
Converting on a 4th down to keep this drive alive, and now Cignetti talking about it. Looks like he has determined that they're going to go for this, and I think that what's at stake and the potential of going up by 2 possessions, maybe too much to pass up, and you worst case pin them inside the 15 if you don't get it.
Well, I mean, the same number, Mendoza and Radicic, the kickers, both number 15s. We're trying to figure out who do you want out there.
No, Cignetti made up his mind. You could tell, probably talked to the analysts and said, guys, we got a chance here to go up by 2 possessions with 9:27. I think it's worth the chance.
Miami had to get the field goal block team off to get some pass rushers back on there. Here we go. Got to get to the 8. He's going to take off and run. Mendoza weaves his way first and goal. Diving toward the end zone. Touchdown! That's why he won the Heisman Trophy.
What a call. What a call by Curt Cignetti and the offensive coordinator, Mike Shanahan. Quarterback draw. He definitely breaks the plane, holds on to the football for a touchdown. What an individual effort, as you said, Chris, by the Heisman Trophy winner.
Very, very few design runs had not been a part of the plan. Cignetti and Mike Shanahan dial it up on 4th and 5. A 4th down touchdown. Indiana back up 10.
Unreal. Follows his blockers. Drew Evans leads his way in there. Also gets behind Kalon Black. But really, it was about what Mendoza was determined to do. Back at his home city would not be denied.
Who's his dad? You see his coach signaling touchdown. That's way out of character. He's got it on the pitch. Tony breaks free. Malachi Tony spinning, scoring! Now Radicic, who made it from 34 earlier, tries to give Indiana a 6-point lead from 35 yards out. Wonder if Cignetti thought about it for a second, keeping the offense out there again on 4th down. Field goal knocked right through. So Indiana took 4:50 off the clock, moved it 11 plays, and added 3 to the lead. But Miami and Carson Beck are going to have a chance.
It's got to be one of the greatest stories we've ever seen in college football. One of the losingest teams in college football history at the start of the year to now the national champions.
A century of futility is forgotten. The Indiana Hoosiers are the kings of college football.
The Indiana Hoosiers are national champions. What did it take to get here?
Yeah, it took a lot to get here, but I'll tell you what it took to come out ahead in this game was a lot of guts. I give Miami a lot of credit. They played really hard. We couldn't get anything done couldn't protect quarterback at all. Made a few plays and adjustments, but they were back shoulders and a sprint out, got the run game going. Made the interception when we had to. A couple 4th down, we went for it. Mendoza, great run. Took some chances, found a way. Let me tell you, we won the national championship at Indiana University. It can be done, and I'm so happy for our fans. Words can't describe it.
Finally, how are you going to celebrate, Coach?
I'm going to have beer.
Enjoy that beer, Coach.
Thank you.
Holly.
Well, Fernando, there was an epic moment in this game. It is the 4th quarter. You're leading by just 3 points, and Coach decides to go for it on 4th down. What did he say to you in that huddle, and how did you execute it?
That's one thing about our team. We're always going to put all on the line. And, I want to give all the glory and thanks to God there. My offensive lineman blocked perfectly, and we're able to execute the team towards a common goal, have the Indiana Hoosiers synergy to score, and then give our team a chance to win the game.
How do you describe walking out of here a national champion after all these years?
There's no words. There's no words. This is the most special moment of my life, and I know my teammates either. There's no one else I'd rather do it with.
Thank you, Fernando.
Thank you, guys. God bless.
It would be enough just to win a championship. To come back to Miami and beat the school that did not even offer him as a walk-on. As Cignetti said a few weeks ago, it's a hell of a movie, Kirk.
I first want to give all the glory to God. And there's no better group of guys I want to deal with. It's the most special moment of my life. There's such a great group of guys. I love you guys. Great job. Let's fucking go!
You said at the Rose Bowl that this would make a hell of a movie. Well, this is a great way to end it. So what do you want to say to these fans on the occasion of bringing Indiana its first national championship?
Best fans in America, I know what cheer you like the best. Did you ever think this was possible? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Who, Hoosiers?
And the Hoosiers are national champions, and there's one more order of business and the most important one. And for that, I introduce the Executive Director of the College Football Playoff, Mr. Rich Clark, to present the hardware. Rich?
Thank you, Reese. What a game. What a game. But as we conclude the College Football Playoff this season, I want to say thank you and congratulations to both of these teams because they showed the character, they showed the mental and physical toughness, and they showed an extreme competitive spirit, not just in the playoff, but throughout the entire season. And for the Indiana Hoosiers, this is historic. 16-0. Coach, 16-0. Congratulations to you and your fans on something that is truly remarkable. But now, get ready, fellas. Come on up here. Right now, on behalf of the conferences and the institutions that administer the College Football Playoff, it is my honor to present the 2026 College Football National Champions, Coach Curt Cignetti and the Indiana Hoosiers.
want this, you got that. No way, watch them walk right past you.